Hello. Welcome to the Skeins of Dreams knitting podcast. I'm Megha, and I'm known as Skeins of Dreams on Instagram and on Ravelry. I think I forgot how to do my introduction already. It's been 3 weeks since my last episode, and so I felt like, okay, it is high time I should record another one. Just in case I forget how to do this. So welcome. If you're a new or if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for checking out my video. And if you're a new viewer, I have a lot of other episodes before this one. You could check those out if you feel like binging some knitting content. Yeah, so I usually come here, talk a lot, mostly about knitting, and that's what I'm here to do today as well. It's Sunday, June 19th, and yeah, I'm here. I think it's around 9:30 in the morning. I have been up for a while. I took a shower. My hair might be a little wet, but I think it doesn't look wet anymore. I thought I should just take this opportunity because I'm having a decent hair day to just come and record and let you know what I've been up to. Um, so, just as a background, I started a new job. I was supposed to start like 2 weeks back, like on the 6th of June, but some paperwork got delayed with regards to my work permit, and so I started on the 13th, so only last Monday. And so it was a really busy week. And those of you who've followed my podcasts from the beginning or from like a few episodes before, you know that I moved to Pittsburgh. We bought a house, been busy setting it up, and then I took like a month off between my old job and my new job. So that month off got extended by a week, and honestly, I was not interested in that. It was really difficult for me to be at home for another week. Like I keep busy. There were a lot of projects to do around the house, and I was knitting and I was sewing, but I do well with the routine, so I needed some place to be, and I'm so happy that work started and I can put my weekdays to good use. I feel like it makes me more efficient even with my crafting because I only have a few hours to do it, and so I'm more thoughtful about it. When I had all the time in the world, I was really haphazard, and you'll see that again today. I got really distracted, and anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So yeah, I've actually been doing a lot of sewing as well, mostly because I mean, in my previous job, I was working in a lab, so I would wear like trousers and tops most of the time, and that's really not my happy place. I really like wearing skirts and dresses, but I wouldn't do that so much in that job because I was in a lab space and it was a very industrial lab, so it wasn't safe when you were not like fully covered and everything. So this job, I mostly work from a desk, and I will have customer visits to plant sites and stuff, but I mean, when you're visiting a plant, you're anyway wearing safety gear, so that's fine. But most of the time, like 80% of the time, I'll be at a desk so I can wear my skirts and my dresses. And since I started sewing at the beginning of the pandemic, I've been enjoying making my own clothes. Also because um, I wouldn't say I'm a rather tall person, but for some reason, even if you're like 5'8", everything hits you above the knees, and I don't like that. Like the length for me of like clothes that I buy ready to wear never hits right, and um, I really enjoy making garments. Of course, you know that. So I've started sewing a lot, and in fact, like my cousin is getting married in August, first week of August. We're going to New Jersey for her wedding because it's going to be an Indian wedding. There are multiple events, and I need multiple outfits. And instead of wearing like a sari for all the events, I decided to make myself some outfits. Like I'm I'm kind of hacking Western outfits to suit them to an Indian wedding. I mean, florals work everywhere, so I can make like a midi length dress and wear it with leggings, and it would be kind of like a kurta that you wear in India, and I just need to make sure that they look wedding appropriate. So I have a lot of projects going on, so I've been definitely tapping into a lot of creative energy. I'm enjoying it thoroughly, and but I've also been knitting like a maniac, as I always do. I think I should stop blabbering now and move on to the actual knitting content. Yeah, so let's start with finished objects. I'm gonna do the usual. I'll talk about my finished objects, my works in progress, and I do have an acquisition section for this episode, and I'm really excited to talk about the things that have recently come into my life. I'm super excited about those. Um, okay, finished objects. Before I get too distracted. I'm wearing one of my finished objects. Like I showed this top the last time I recorded a podcast. Oh, by the way, before I get started, I think there were some audio issues. I think this house, um, because it's a new location, I think the sound diffuses very easily here. I have not changed anything in like equipment wise, and like the distance to the camera, everything stays is the same as my previous episodes, but for some reason the sound isn't as high in wasn't as high in my last episode. I'm gonna try and fix that, but please be patient while I figure things out. I just use my phone to record these, so I'm gonna try and enhance the sound while I edit, and I hope that works. But do let me know if it doesn't, and I can try and fix it in the future episodes. Yep. So anyway, I was talking about the top I'm wearing. So this is the Alanis top. It's a design by Elizabeth Smith. I was very close to finishing it last time I recorded, and I actually finished it a few days after I put out that episode. It's a beautiful, simple drop shoulder top. I've knit this. Elizabeth actually knitted in a very woolly wool. I think the sample was out of Quince and Co. Owl or something, which is like a worsted weight, 100% wool. Or no, I think Owl is 50 wool, 50 alpaca, or something like that. But I always really liked the look of the top, but I can't justify making it out of 100% wool and not having sleeves. I don't know. It never really. It was in my queue for the longest time, but never really worked out with any of the yarns that I wanted to work with or whatever. But then when I got this beautiful yarn, this is the Pearl Soho Lantern. It is a linen cotton blend, and I got it at one of the sales that Pearl Soho was having. They've been having a lot of sale on their summer yarn, and I purchased this with a friend who kind of enabled me. She sent me her cart, like, what do you expect? If I see someone's cart and I see the colors, and I'm like, okay, I need that as well. So yeah, both of us knit the same top, and and with the same yarn. Her top is like pink in color, and mine is a little lavender, but you can't really tell. It blows out quite a bit, so unless you're like really close to me, you won't be able to tell it has a shade of lavender to it. But I'm really pleased with how this turned out, and while I'm talking now, I will put a video of me just like twirling around in the garment. It has a split hem detail, which I really like, and it's very like easy to wear. I've actually not blocked it or washed it since I made it. Like I made it and it just looked like I could just wear it, and I've been wearing it just like that. It has grown slightly, so I'm gonna wash it. I'm just waiting for enough delicates to accumulate so I can put them all together in the washer. So once I wash it, I'm gonna see, because they did mention on their website that if you wash and dry this, you can do that because it's linen and cotton, but it might shrink a little. So I'm curious to see, and I had done that to my swatch, and it did shrink a little, but it became better. Like the gauge looked better that way, and I did account for the gauge post washing and blocking when I was knitting with this, because I definitely changed the gauge of the garment, because the designer has it at a 20 stitch gauge. Okay, that's Oreo. Hold on, I need to stop all the crinkling. Okay, so I've been doing a lot of sewing, like I mentioned, and a lot of patterns have been cut out of the tracing paper, and all the patterns were on the floor, and of course Ori wants to sit right in front of them and roll on them, so I put them away. I should have done that before I started recording, but I got excited to record after a while. All right. Yeah, so the designer has this top at a 20 stitch gauge, I believe. I only got 16 stitches and 4 inches. So instead of making, usually I make the 5th or 6th size in a decent size ranged pattern. But this one I made the 2nd size, I believe, because my gauge was so much bigger. But it worked out. I made sure that the lengths, like for example, when you split for sleeves, I need to knit to a longer length, not the length mentioned for the 2nd size, but the length mentioned for the 5th size, so that I'm not making just a smaller garment, even like lengthwise and everything. But like stitch count works out, and calculated what would be the final finished garment size, and that's what I did. So yeah, so I'm super happy with this. I've actually worn this top to work as well. I really like how it sits on my shoulders, and it's very cool. Like it's been really hot by, I guess, Pittsburgh standards as well. Like it's been quite hot here, and I know you must be thinking she's from India and she's complaining about the heat, but honestly, I've not been in an Indian summer in the last 10 years, so I feel like I've lost touch. I've only visited home not in the summer months. Like I've been back in February or December, or like months that it's not hot. So I feel like I need to reintroduce myself, get used to the Indian summer again. But Pittsburgh's been quite hot as well. So this has been like really nice to wear, even though it's a worsted weight yarn. Like I have not felt that at all. In fact, I kind of like the weight. When it's too light, sometimes I don't know, I'm worried about my bra, like the edges showing, or I feel like I need to layer or something. But this one has been perfect. Like I can just wear it next to skin and not worry about anything. So yeah, that's my Alanis top, and I'm super happy with this make. um I actually have another finished object. Hey, I'm back. So I had recorded the entire video, and I was editing it, and I realized I really hated the way my hair was looking. I wish I was not so bothered about physical attributes, and I would just focus on. I know everyone's here to, talk about knitting, or just, you're not judging me how I look and how my hair looks. But sadly, it bothers me. I wish it didn't, but it does. We all have insecurities, and um, I have mine too. So I'm back because I didn't want to let this get to me. So I'm back re-recording. I've I've put a clip so my hair doesn't look look like it was looking in the first part of the video, because that it really bugged me. I hope I can get over this insecurity of mine. Suddenly, it doesn't matter um, my educational qualifications or my interest in knitting or anything else that I've achieved in life. What matters is that my hair looks too thin. Oh well. All right. So I spoke about the Alanis top already, I hope. And my second finished object is so as soon as I had finished um, knitting the Alanis, I went to my local yarn store, because that's what you do, right? Like you finish something and then you go looking for more yarn. So I went to my local yarn store, the one that's really close to me, and I just wanted to see what they have in their summer yarn selection. I mean, I have a lot of yarn. You can you can tell, but I'm not saying I don't have enough summer yarn, but I guess I was just, I wanted to see what else is available. So I went there and I fell in love with this swatch, and that's how they get you. They knit up swatches and you feel them, and then you're like, I need that. So I saw this beautiful yarn by Lana Grossa. It's called the Linea Pura. It retails for $10.99 in the US, and I think it's a German, based on the words written here, I think it's a German brand. It is 80% recycled viscose and 20% linen. It has a very marbly texture to it, like it's very slinky and very soft, and that's what I really loved about the swatch, that it looked it was so like drapey and everything. So I bought it not with a specific pattern in mind, and then I went on Ravelry and I spent a lot of time. And of course, this was when I was like sitting at home. My job was, I mean, my joining date was delayed, so I had not a lot to do. So I sat for hours going through so many summer patterns on Ravelry, trying to figure out which ones I like, which ones have a decent size range, and that I can knit them, because for some reason, a lot of summer tops, they don't even go up to my size, and I'm like, usually in the standard sizes I would be somewhere in the middle, so there are so many people above my size who are not even accounted for in all these patterns. So anyway, that's a different discussion. I tried to narrow down a lot of patterns that I wanted to knit and that were available in multiple sizes, and so I found this beautiful top called the Ziva top by a designer called Laura Ayler, and she's a new to me designer, um, and I really loved the simple pattern. Like it's a simple raglan with like some lace details. And why am I talking without showing it to you? I don't know. So this is the top. That is, it's a raglan, and all down the side there is a cascading lace. So the lace goes like front and back. It's centered at the center of the armhole stitches, and then you just keep increasing how much lace you're doing. So it knits up really quickly, because you usually get to the yoke division really quickly, and then you start the lace. And because you're doing lace, you do the repeats so fast, you don't even realize you've knit the entire body of a top. And then you go back and pick up some sleeve stitches, and then you do the neckline, but the neckline is just pick up a row of stitches and then just bind them off immediately. So it's a very simple garment. I really love this detail, and what I really like about this is a lot of tops which have the lace on the top, on the yoke, I'm unable to wear them without like a layer. Like I'll have to wear a tank top and then I have to wear that, because the lace makes it look like, I can't really just wear it on my bra, because it doesn't look good, especially for work and everything, unless the lace is dense and like there's only a few eyelets, and maybe you can do that. Most of the times it's fine on a winter garment because you're anyway layering it, but for a summer one, I wanted to wear one easily enough without having to bother about layers and all of that. So this turned out perfectly. Like it covers the top, and then you do have a lace detail which makes it very pretty, very interesting. It fits me really well. um, I knit, though I usually would knit a 48-inch finished garment, I knit the 42-inch finish because I got a larger gauge. And then because it's simple raglan, I just had to make sure that I had the right number of stitches before I divided for the sleeve. I have not blocked it. I was, because I just cast it off last night, I will wash and block today. I wanted to wait until I showed it on the podcast because it's linen, right? Like it'll take a long time to dry. So if I had blocked it yesterday, I wouldn't be able to hold it up today. So that's what I did. I finished and I'm going to wash and block it today. And yeah, I can put it in the washer and dryer. I think I might put both of these together, the one I'm wearing and this one, because I do want to. I mean, they're linen, they should be able to go into the washer on a delicate cycle. I was just waiting for enough delicates to build up anyway. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And I made it shorter than usually I make my tops, because usually I was making a lot of tops to go on jeans or trousers. But this one I want to wear with a skirt. I don't have the said skirt. I will be sewing the skirt today. Actually, I want to sew a skirt for my cousin's wedding. So as practice for that, I want to sew. I've already practiced the pattern multiple times with the mock and everything, but now I'm gonna make a black skirt, just as practice again, and then I can wear it with this top. So I'm really excited about that. I have a whole outfit that I will be making, and I'm slowly getting into that phase where I want to make the entire outfit and not just the knitted garment. So it's a lot of fun, um, exploring some sewing and how it goes with my knitting and making wardrobe that all fits together. So I should be able to wear that one knitted or one sewn garment with a lot of other things that I've made. So yeah, so that is the Ziva top. I'm really happy with how it turned out. The pattern is really nice and the lace is very simple, super easy to memorize. And I really love how it looks, the cascading lace and everything. And I'm sure it will grow a little when I wash it. And so I can't wait to do that. I would wear it, but I'm wearing plaid PJs under my top right now, and I don't really want to stand up. It's nice to sit on the floor when I'm not wearing jeans. So I wear the jeans and I take a video of me twirling in whatever garment, and then I switch to my comfortable PJs, and that's how I'm recording. All right, so those were my finished objects, and now let's get started with all my works in progress. So the first work in progress I want to talk about is actually my no frills raglan sweater. In the previous video, I was talking about a fingering weight cardigan that I'm test knitting, but the designer is away and we have some things that need clarification before we can move on. So that one's on hold for now until the designer gets back, and she said it's okay if, don't worry about the deadline and everything. So meanwhile, I picked up my beautiful no frills sweater again. This is just a simple raglan sweater. Actually, I started off with the no frills pattern, but I didn't meet gauge, so I did whatever fits my body. I've made enough raglans now that I can make modifications to have it fit me and increase the number of change the number of increases or whatever, and do so. I'm just doing my own thing is what I'm trying to say. So it's in a beautiful tweedy woolly knit yarn. I bought this cone when Rebecca of the Kriya Bea podcast was having her cone along collaboration with Woolly Knit. So I ordered 2 cones from their website. The shipping was expensive, but because it was a one-time thing and I really wanted to try their yarn because Rebecca was talking about it and everybody was trying it, I wanted to join everybody. So I ordered 2 cones. This one is the merino cone. This color is called Tiara Beige Nep. Very, very beautiful tweedy cream beige color, and I have been really into neutrals this year. Like I'm really liking the lighter colored neutrals and everything. Though I work with all colors, as you can see. I think the one color missing from my yarns is usually blue. Um, I wear blue. I mean, I wear a lot of Indian stuff that has block print, like indigo blue block prints or something like that. But for some reason, knitting with blue yarn does not call out to me. So I usually stick with the warmer tones. And now I've been completely in the neutrals. I cannot wait to knit with these yarns, and I'll talk more about them when I get to them. But yeah, I have been totally into the cream and beige kind of colors, and so this has been really nice. I was already at the sleeve separation. I just separated for the sleeves. I've been knitting the body. It's just round and round, so anytime I'm watching TV or I don't want like a too much project with too much engagement, mental engagement, I just like pick up this sweater and it's nice to knit. Yep, so that is the one thing. Then one of my best friends is coming to see me soon. um, they live in Akron in Ohio, and they'll be driving down to Pittsburgh. They have not seen the house. My friend and her husband, and we're really close to them, and they haven't seen the house, and so we're really excited that they'll come see visitors and everything. And so I've knit a lot for this friend of mine, like multiple things in the past, and we always have a lot of discussions, but she's very nice in the way that she doesn't hold me to any of those discussions or plans, because she knows that inspiration strikes when it does, and I'll make them when I want to. She does not pressure me, and for some reason I get really excited making things for her, and then I like get into the zone and I plan so much. I've made her at least two sweaters in the past. I've made her one summer top which she gave back to me because it didn't fit right. And it was not me, it was the pattern. Like everybody complained about how like large the armhole was, so it didn't fit her right at all. And since then she's lost a bunch of weight, so that won't fit her anyway, so I have to rip it and make it again, make something else again. But meanwhile, I'm going off on a tangent. Meanwhile, I suddenly had this inclination to knit with this beautiful yarn that I have. This is La Bien-Aimée Super Sock in the Madeline color. And I had just a single skein of this, not even a full skein. Like I think I had only like 90 grams or something. I had used the rest of it in a shawl that I knit. Coincidentally, I knit that shawl and a different friend liked the shawl, so I gifted it to her. So this yarn it's not destined to be with me. Anyway, I found the single skein, and I can't make anything for myself with a single skein, and it's too precious. Like La Bien-Aimée yarn is expensive, and it was too precious to make a sock with. So I was like waiting for the right project to come along, and it suddenly struck me that I'm gonna make a tank top for my friend. And I have started the Lazy Daisy crop by Rachel. I think Rachel Kurihara is her last name. I may be wrong. I'm gonna put it on the screen. It's a very beautiful, simple tank top which has embroidered daisies on them. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do the daisies. I just like those. My friend really likes the square neck tank tops or the spaghetti tops, and I really want to make one for her in this yarn. And she's a petite person, so I don't need more than one skein for her size. I've knit pretty much the length that the pattern asks you to. I haven't done the split for front and back because finishing this top will take me another couple hours. I might as well wait for her, make her try it on right as it is, and then decide what to do, because if she wants it longer, I can knit it longer, and otherwise I can. There's always the problem of straps not fitting right if you don't have the person who you're knitting for in front of you, because the pattern might mention something, but the straps don't work out, and then it's like too loose or something, and it won't fit right. And my friend is very particular about how things fit her. She is a difficult person to knit for, but I love her, so I do it for her. And then, I mean, she's my best friend. She can tell me if she doesn't like something. It's the other people when they complain, when I'm like, you do not realize how much time and effort went into this. I'm just kidding. No, she's completely knit worthy. So yeah, I'm gonna wait for her to finish this so I can try it on her and then see what needs to be changed. But this has been like a simple knit. It's all crinkled because I put it in a handbag and then I travel with it. So whenever I have some time, I knit on it. Then when I was making this tank top for her, I suddenly remembered that last year when this whole granny square crochet thing became, not last year, last couple years it has become like a trend, right? Like everybody wants to knit the granny square tops and everything. Um, and the same friend had found a pattern on Etsy that she really liked. Not a pattern, I think it was a garment itself, but she sent me the Etsy picture. It was just a granny square like lined up, and it was a tank top, and she really wanted something like that. And she and I like discussed, and we picked out a color palette using the Knit Picks Cotton line, which is a cotton linen blend, because we wanted it for the summer, didn't want to use wool for it. And we picked out the palette, the yarn arrived, and I never cast on. Like, I never worked on it. But suddenly, this time around, I finally got the inspiration. And I found a very, very pretty daisy granny square pattern. And I started a tank top. So this is what I have so far. It's very, very fun. I love how it's looking. I love the granny square design. She had picked out all these darker colors, and this beige color in the middle is something I had in the same yarn in this it's called the linen colorway. The colorway is also called linen. It's the Knit Picks Cotton yarn. I put this in myself because I wanted something to tie all these yarns together, and I really like how this is looking. It's so much fun to make. I'm using a 2.5 millimeter hook, so I'm using a really tiny hook because even though this is a DK weight yarn, when you crochet, I don't want like very big holes because you won't be able to wear a garment with that many holes, especially if it's supposed to be a tank top. You don't really want to wear something under it, and then if it has too many holes, then you really can't wear it. So, I mean, this is working out very well now. I really like how it's looking. So I'm gonna do the same thing. So just the front, and I'm gonna make similar rectangle for the back, but I'm gonna wait for my friend to come, and then I'm gonna try it on her to see if I need to seam it such that it's wider on the top and narrower at the bottom so it fits her properly. So I might have to get creative with the seaming of the front and back just to give it a little shape. But yeah, it's not a pattern. I'm just like free styling it, doing whatever, and hopefully it'll fit my friend. Right now, this is the length I've planned. We'll try it on her to see if she wants more length or if she wants a fringe or something. So we'll figure it out. I don't know if I'm gonna record with all these two tank tops finished. So I might still, next time I record, I'll put a picture and hopefully she's wearing them in that picture. So you'll be able to see how they turned out. So that was that. So 2 tank tops and 1 sweater. And then last week, I was just browsing YouTube and Stephen West put out a new video of his shawl, which is called the Pagona shawl. It is an earlier pattern of his, but it was a one skein shawl the way he explained it is because he's a bigger guy, he wanted something that sits on his shoulders better, so he re-released that pattern as a 3 skein shawl, so it's a big shawl, and the way it sits on his shoulders is amazing. Like, I really, really like how it sits on his shoulders. It's a simple shawl, nothing much to it, and he did it in a 3-color fade. So now I've had this issue that I have cast on multiple Stephen West shawls and I have not finished any of them. I have at least 4 of his shawls as works in progress, but for some reason I can never finish them. So this time around I decided I wanted the shawl, but I have to find a way to finish it. So first I went into my stash to pick out my fade. I wanted to be excited about the colors, of course, and I found this. So this is my first color. This is Sweet Georgia Yarns Tough Love Sock in the apricot color. Then this is my second color. This is a gifted skein by my friend Rita. She found this in a local store in Buffalo. It's by a dyer called 5 Cent Homestead. I don't know what the colorway is, but it's a beautiful pink tonal. I wanted to use this skein for a very special project, and I'm so happy that it worked out with this shawl. And then this is my third skein. So this one is a Sweet Georgia yarn Stuff Love sock in the candy apple color. It has very beautiful pinks and red tonals, but like you can't really see the pink unless you're like looking at it in person. So I decided this was my color palette and I'm gonna make the Pagona shawl in this yarn. And the way I wanted to make sure that I finish the shawl is I calculated, say it has 300 grams of yarn to be knit up, and I want the shawl in a month. Say I knit only 25 days out of 30 days in a month, I need to be knitting 12 grams per day. So I literally weighed all my skeins. I set up this goal, and every day I knit and then I measure my skein remaining so I know if I have knit 12 grams. And I only let myself knit 12. If I knit more than that, I stop because I just move on to a different project so I don't get like bored of it or something. But it's been really fun, and I think having the small goals, daily goals, has been a lot of fun. Like it is helping me keep on track. Today's actually day 8, so I have been good and I have knit the appropriate amount. I think most days, except for like maybe one day I didn't get time to knit at all. But other than that, I have been knitting on it exclusively, just also because, like, like I mentioned, um, the small goals are easier to keep up with. So now this is all bunched up on a small needle, and I'm supposed to put it on a bigger needle, but this is how it looks so far. So it has these multiple spines which you increase along. So you have these triangular sections which are like stockinette. You just switch between knitting and purling, so that's how you're creating the patterning. And then you have multiple increase locations, so your shawl is increasing horizontally as much as it's growing vertically. And this is usually Stephen West style in other things. Like I've knit other stuff of his, at least I've started other stuff of his, which have the same knitting or like increasing technique, so that your shawl is growing both horizontally and vertically, and he gets really creative about them. So this is just alternating knitting and purling. So it does have quite a bit of purling. You have to purl on both sides. I don't mind purling. I purl continental, so it's not an issue for me. But if you don't like purling, it might not be the best shawl for you. I know he has some garter shawls that you could look at. But yeah, I've been enjoying. I've just started striping in the second color. I know because the two colors are so different, it's not really going to be a fade, but I don't mind. I've started adding the second color, and that's always exciting to change colors. And then once I'll knit until I run out pretty much, and then I'll just stick with the second color. So what has helped me is definitely weighing the skeins and then having colors that I want, and then I have this goal. I need to finish a shawl, start and finish a shawl. I'm good at finishing garments. For some reason, shawls just, they never work out. Yep. So that is another work in progress. It's the Pagona shawl. I think that's all the works in progress I had for this episode, but I do have some stash acquisitions. And actually, because I'm recording again, I've put them away, so let me go bring them. Okay, let's talk about my stash acquisitions. So I recently made a new friend. It's Camilla of the CAMIJOKNIT podcast and the CAMIJOKNIT yarns. She's a beautiful designer and dyer based in Denmark, and she has the most amazing website with such lovely colors. And I was checking out her yarns and I completely fell in love with this colorway. It's called the Petals colorway. It's a beautiful lavender color with like very lovely gold and yellow speckles, very mustardy speckles, and I absolutely love how this looks. I'm usually not a speckle person. I prefer the more tonal yarns, but I really love this subtle speckle of this, and I fell in love with it instantly, and I absolutely had to buy it. Of course, I bought a sweater's quantity, because what am I if not a sweater quantity buyer? I do want to make a very nice cardigan or top which will showcase the yarn, and I have a few things in mind for it, but I'm going to talk about them when I actually cast on. So yeah, I ordered this from Camilla. It took like a month to get here, so if you're ordering from the US, just beware, it might take longer than you think it will. But beautiful, beautiful yarn, and Camilla very, very generously donated this beautiful fade set. This is her singles base, which is the 100% superwash merino. It's called Single 366. It's a very, very pretty fade, and she very generously donated it for the podcast. So I'm actually doing a giveaway today. And thank you so much for helping me cross 4,000 subscribers. I'm so, so thankful for all of you, so grateful, and so thankful for everybody who's been supporting me, who has sent such lovely messages my way. I really appreciate it. I read all your comments. I love all the chatter. I like all the friends that I have made through this podcast. Thank you so much. And as a thank you, I would love to do a giveaway. And all you have to do is leave a comment in this video. I don't have a prompt. You can leave whatever you feel like, and I will pick a winner who will receive this beautiful skein fade set. I'm gonna ship internationally, but I'm not gonna be responsible for the customs and everything. Shipping to foreign countries does cost quite a bit from the US, but I'm gonna pay for the shipping. But I think I would expect you to pay for the customs on it. But thank you so much, Camilla, for such a generous gift. I've been watching Camilla's podcast, and she's working on this design for this gorgeous mohair sweater. It's a DK weight mohair called the Mega Mohair, and she's making a fully lace, almost a bomber jacket type cardigan. It is the most beautiful thing ever, and I really want to knit it, and I've already messaged Camilla saying that I want to knit it. So that's coming up later, as when she finishes her sample and actually releases the pattern and everything. So do check out Camilla's podcast if you've not already, and thank you so much for all the work you do, Camilla. I'm so happy with this, and I'm so excited to work with this yarn. It is, by the way, it's I didn't mention, it's a sock yarn, like 80% merino and 20% polyamide. So yeah, so that's one of the acquisitions in my life. And then I was watching Amy's recent special episode on all her summer garments. Amy Palco of the Meaningful Stitch. I just say Amy like there's only one Amy, and then she's it. Like, she is pretty much it, right? So Amy Palco's video on her summer garments, and I'm a complete fan, as you know, and everything she makes is beautiful. But I was particularly amazed by the ginkgo top she made, which is a design by Melody Hoffman. And what I liked a lot about that top was the yarn. It is a soft silk yarn by BC Garn. I tried to find a stockist in the US, but I didn't find anyone, or I found people who had limited selection of the colorways, and I didn't like the colorways that they had. I could have ordered from Canada, but I don't know, it just didn't work out. I couldn't decide what color. Meanwhile, my local yarn store, which is the one not close to me but like a little farther away from me, Mech Walker Yarns, they posted a picture on their Instagram about this beautiful yarn by Wonderland Yarns. It's called the Summer Silk. It's 100% silk burette. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. This is yarn spun in Italy and hand dyed in Vermont, and I think Wonderland Yarns belongs to the Frabjous Fibers. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I messed that up. But they have a website where you can actually pick what colorway you want, and then they'll dye it for you and everything. But I really like this pink that my local yarn store posted about, and I went in to actually feel it and look at it, and it was as glorious as the picture promised. And I bought this yarn to make my next summer top in, and I actually started swatching with it, and I must say it is beautiful to knit with. It looks really nice, and I really like the feel of it. I'm using 3.25 millimeter needles for this, and I've started doing this where I buy yarn, I knit with I swatch with a needle which I feel might be appropriate for it, and I see what the gauge is, and then I decide what pattern, because I don't like forcing gauges out of yarns anymore. I feel like it doesn't work out for me. So I let the yarn tell me what gauge it wants to be knit at, what is its destiny, and then I will make a pattern in that gauge or close to that gauge, and I can adjust the math and everything. But I'm thoroughly enjoying swatching with it, so I will finish the swatch, measure the gauge, block and wash and measure the gauge, and then I will decide what it will become. But yeah, that is a beautiful yarn that has also come into my life. And then I briefly wanted to mention that I am still hosting the Blankets of Dreams Make Along. Please, please, please tag me in any pictures you put on Instagram. I will be picking 2 winners for our 3-month mark, one from the Ravelry thread and one from the Instagram thread. And I will send beautiful prizes your way. And I'm still working on my half and half wrap, but I'm not going to show it because what will you see, another few rows done. So until I reach a certain stage, which is like a milestone or something, I will show you the half and half wrap. And after I finish the half and half wrap, and I'm kind of close to finishing it, like I have 1.5 skeins to go, and once I finish it, I will be able to do my pressed flowers shawl, which is going to become a blanket, and I'm excited about that. So yeah, so the Blankets of Dreams Mal is going on in the background, and I'm thoroughly enjoying looking at all the beautiful blankets being made in the world and who are participating in the make along, and thank you so much for that. And I'm thoroughly enjoying the inspiration to make more blankets. But I think that's all for today. I have spoken about everything, and we have recorded again, and I think I'm a little exhausted with all the recording again. I had to actually record the acquisition section a 3rd time because for some reason my phone shut off and it didn't get my video. But I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the love and support you've been sending my way. Please do participate in the giveaway. I hope I mentioned the giveaway. I think I did. And and please do like and subscribe and the usual thing. I usually don't talk about all of those things because I don't want to pressure anyone, but sometimes it's nice to have a reminder, I think. And thank you so much for taking me past the 4,000 mark, and I truly appreciate all the support and all the community that we've created here. All right, I think I should go now before I start getting repetitive. Is it repetitive? I don't know how to pronounce any word today. Okay, I will leave now. Stay safe, take care, and happy crafting. Bye.